Joe Malone not only excelled in hockey, but also emerged as a formidable force in the league. In the NHL's very first season back in 1917, while most players were still figuring out how to skate without falling over, Malone scored 44 goals. That's not just dominance, that's complete destruction. He was the league's first real superstar, setting the bar so high that players had to look up just to see the bottom of it. But don't think it was easy. This was an era of frozen rinks, no helmets, and goalies without masks. Every goal was a battle. Every win was a war. And that war only got harder. The Montreal Wanderers, one of the first 4 NHL teams, literally lost their arena to a fire during the first season and had to drop out. That left just 3 teams fighting for survival. But the NHL didn't flinch. It was built on grit, and instead of folding, it grew stronger. Rule changes followed. The introduction of the blue line brought offside rules and a new way to build plays. Forward passing wasn't even legal at first. Picture this: no quick transitions, no long bombs, just pure mayhem on the ice. When that rule changed, the game exploded with new strategies and speed. Suddenly, hockey wasn't just about crashing the net, it was about thinking 2 steps ahead. Then came Frank Mr. Zero Brimsek in 1938. This guy didn't just stop pucks, he stopped hope. In his rookie season, he earned his nickname by racking up shutouts like they were collectibles. He backstopped the Boston Bruins to a Stanley Cup and made goaltending a weapon, not just a necessity. It was a turning point. Teams now had to outthink the goalie, not just outshoot him. Around him, players like Gordie Drillon and Toe Blake started changing how the game was played. They weren't just rushing the net, they were reading the ice, making smart plays, and proving that hockey IQ could win games just as fast as brute force. Enter Sil Apps, Toronto's weapon of choice. He didn't just score, he led, he defended, and he inspired. Under his leadership, the Maple Leafs transformed into a formidable force, amassing championships with remarkable ease. But every king needs a challenger, and Montreal was rising. Maurice Rocket Richard didn't just skate, he flew. He played with rage in his eyes and fire in his stick. Watching him score was like watching a tornado tear through a calm village, unpredictable, violent, and unstoppable. Alongside Jean Beliveau's grace and Doug Harvey's brilliant defense, the Canadiens were becoming a machine. By the late 1950s, the Canadiens had reached their peak performance. Montreal ripped through the league with 5 straight Stanley Cups from 1956 to 1960. That had never been done before. The Rocket, Beliveau, and Harvey didn't just win, they dominated. And then Jacques Plante did something insane. He wore a mask. Fans and coaches thought he was soft. Turns out, he was just ahead of his time. After he stopped pucks with his face one too many times, he decided he liked his nose where it was. That mask became the future. But just when you thought Montreal couldn't be touched, Chicago crashed the party. Bobby Hull, nicknamed the Golden Jet, had a slap shot so lethal, goalies flinched before he even took it. In 1961, Hull and Stan Mikita led the Blackhawks to a Stanley Cup, ending their dry spell. Mikita was the thinker, Hull was the blaster. Together, they created a chaotic atmosphere on skates. Chicago finally had their moment, but the Canadiens were still lurking. Then, the Bruins dropped a bomb on the league, Bobby Orr. This kid wasn't just good, he was revolutionary. Defensemen weren't supposed to score. Orr laughed at that idea. He skated like a missile, passed like a magician, and scored like a sniper. He turned the ice into his playground. With Phil Esposito smashing records in front of the net, Boston became a powerhouse. But every time they neared the top, Montreal knocked them back down. The Canadiens weren't just winning, they were teaching everyone else a lesson in puck control, composure, and cold-blooded execution. By the late 70s, it felt like no one could change the narrative until Wayne Gretzky arrived. He didn't look dangerous, he wasn't huge, but he played like he had cheat codes. Gretzky saw plays before they happened. He passed through defenders like they were cones. In 1982, He scored 92 goals and 212 points in a single season. Those aren't stats, they're myths. The Edmonton Oilers built a dream team around him. Mark Messier contributed strength, Paul Coffey provided flair, and Grant Fuhr excelled in goal. Together, they ruled the 80s, winning 4 cups and rewriting the rulebook. And just when fans thought the Oilers would reign forever, Gretzky was traded to Los Angeles. It was a shockwave. Canada mourned, California celebrated, and hockey found a new home in the sun. Gretzky took the Kings to the finals in 1993 and made hockey mainstream in places where snow was just a rumor. Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, another monster was rising. Mario Lemieux wasn't just big, he was majestic. At 6'4", he skated with grace and struck with precision. He battled cancer and spinal problems and still came back to win scoring titles. He carried the Penguins to 2 straight cups in the early 90s and earned respect as one of the few players who could challenge Gretzky's throne. Lemieux played through pain and made it look effortless. His comeback story wasn't just heroic, it was legendary. As the 1990s progressed, the NHL transformed into a global hub. Jaromir Jagr brought flair, Teemu Selanne brought lightning, and Dominik Hasek brought madness in the crease. European players shook up the league, bringing new moves and faster styles. Teams started popping up in weird places: San Jose, Tampa, Anaheim, and even Miami. The game was changing, but not always in a good way. The New Jersey Devils figured out how to strangle games with the neutral zone trap. Their defense-first approach won cups but made the ice feel like molasses. Scoring dipped, games slowed, fans got frustrated. The league knew it needed a reboot. Then came 2005. The salary cap era began, and teams couldn't just buy championships anymore. You had to be smart, build from within, draft right. And that's when Sidney Crosby entered the scene. A kid from Cole Harbor, hyped as the next Gretzky. And man, he delivered. Who's directly behind him? Alexander Ovechkin. Pure fire. Where Crosby was surgical, Ovi was wild. A wrecking ball with a slap shot that made goalies duck. Crosby won his first cup in 2009 after falling short in 2008. It was redemption, proof that he could lead. Ovechkin had to wait, but when he finally lifted the cup in 2018, it was like watching a volcano erupt. He didn't just win, he exploded with joy, spraying beer and legacy all over the rink. From 2008 to 2017, dynasties emerged and vanished. Chicago's Blackhawks were unwavering champions, having won 3 cups. LA secured 2 championships by playing hard, defensive hockey. These weren't random wins. These were well-oiled machines built for war, under the new cap system. But not every team figured it out. Some franchises overspent and suffered significant losses. Turns out, money can't buy heart. Hockey got faster, players got smarter, social media turned trades and fights into viral events. Every moment was amplified. The game wasn't just physical, it was mental, tactical, and relentless. And today, there's no king on the throne. From 2018 to now, 6 different teams have won the cup in 6 years. No repeats, no dynasties, just mayhem. Connor McDavid leads the charge now. He doesn't skate, he glides like he's on turbo mode. He sees things no one else sees. He's the evolution of Gretzky's mind with the body of a sprinter. But even he hasn't captured a cup yet. That's how tough the league is today. Austin Matthews is sniping goals like a machine. Cale Makar is bending the rules of defense. Leon Draisaitl is carving through lines like butter. It's a new age, an age of chaos, talent, and razor-thin margins. No team is safe, no game is guaranteed.